I think the term collective liberation has become such a buzzy, overused term that I want to take a moment and just take a pause and really kind of unwind what we actually mean when we say collective liberation. And this is something that I think is helpful for me too, because I find myself using those terms a lot, almost to the point where it's like losing its meaning. So as I'm doing this sort of examination on just what we mean by collective liberation, I think it's natural for us to start thinking about social justice, right? Especially what we're witnessing in Gaza, what we're witnessing here in the US with our government, and the wrongful deportation of students, all of which is not new, right? All of these things, they're not new actions, but I think the Trump administration is just doing it in such a way where it is, because of social media, like it's like an onslaught. We can't get away from it. It's like happening every single day, almost seemingly like multiple situations, that are alarming every single day. And I think that's part of the strategy too, just to kind of demoralize and to dysregulate so that they can actually get in there and control. So when we start talking about collective liberation, or when we're talking about this term liberation, yes, it does mean social justice, and liberation for those who are having their ability to self-determine their life be taken away. But I think we also have to kind of peel back those layers and go a little bit deeper into not just, these governments, these peoples are doing wrong by these people, or, that these marginalized groups are being, oppressed upon. Where is that oppression coming from? Like, what is the root of that oppression? It's not that people are just blatantly evil. I think we really need to peel back the layer. And I think when I look at the oppression that's happening, whether it's within the US or outside of the US upon other countries, what I'm really seeing is supremacy, right? This idea of supremacy. And I think we talk a lot about white supremacy, but really, there's human supremacy that sits on top of white supremacy. This idea that we humans are lord over the earth, that we are lord over the animals, that we are lord over nature, all that is here in this, material plane. And that's just blatantly false. We are not in control. We are stewards of the earth, which means we're stewards of nature. We are here to help and support life, not destroy life through war, through capitalism, through all of these things. And if we start to peel back the layer of that supremacy, like where the hell does that come from? I think we start to find that there is this insidious epidemic of not enoughness, of scarcity, not just in resources, not just in power, but scarcity of value of ourselves, believing that we are somehow unworthy in a very, very subconscious or unconscious level. I believe every single human being here deals with some version of not enoughness, of scarcity of the self in some way. I think that is part of the patriarchal toxicity that has been, governing this entire world, not just the US, not just empires, but the entire world, because we're all affected. We're all connected to each other. Our energies are connected. So even if you live in a country that's not imperialistic, it doesn't matter. The imperial domination and that kind of ideology is rampant here. If it's here, then you are tinged by it. If it's here, then it affects you. So it's this scarcity, this not enoughness of resources, of power, and also what's reflected out there, like the scarcity of this mindset of like there's not enough resources, there's not enough power, is a reflection of our internal state. There's not enough divinity here. There's not enough God here. And that, again, is an illusion, because we are all part of this universal life force, this God force. It flows through us. God isn't out here. The universe isn't out here. It's all within us. And I think that's the fundamental separation, or the fundamental belief that's separating us from the unseen, from the divine, from something greater, believing that we are unworthy. I think the Christian faith does a really good job in cementing that idea that we are all born quote unquote sinners. It's something that I've had to battle my entire life, feeling deficient, feeling like I'm not worthy to connect to God or to this universal force, that there's something deficient in me, something marred or something problematic in my essence that separates me from the divine, that separates me from God. And I think that when we talk about collective liberation, it's that we're actually trying to heal, that we're trying to dismantle that very, very deep, I think, core, almost kind of like it's this like poison that's like poisoned our core essence. That belief that we're not enough, that belief that we are separated from God, that belief that, you know, the universal forces are out here, they're not within us. Therefore, we don't have inherent wisdom, we don't have inherent value. So I think when we talk about collective liberation, it's in healing, it's in freeing all of us from this poisonous belief that we're not enough, that we're unworthy, that there isn't God within us, that we are separated from the divine. That is what I personally am here to support us in really reclaiming our aliveness and the truth that we are all divine. We are all inherently worthy. Doesn't matter what the hell you believe, we are all inherently worthy. We are all enough.